Welcome to Owen Allen Media. Dancehall artist Mavado has spoken out following the release of his son Dante Brooks, who was freed after the Court of Appeal ruled that his conviction was a substantial miscarriage of justice. The ruling made by Justice Marva McDonald Bishop ends a 7-year ordeal for Mavado and his family, his son Dante Brooks and his co-accused Andre Hines. In his statement, Mavado did not hold back, expressing both joy and deep frustration over what he sees as a corrupt and flawed legal process. Mavado said, "It's taken me some time to process all that has taken place, but I am ready to speak. To God be the glory. He comes first in everything we do. I am naturally elated, relieved, and full of joy that my son Dante has been freed from the state-imposed hell he has endured for 7 years of his young life. But at the same time, there is a fire raging within me at the injustice, or as the appeal judge put it, substantial miscarriage of justice that has taken place. A trial without jury decided on by a lone judge who chose not to take into account the amount of times the single witness changed his statements, admitted to lying to police, and fabricated his account of events. The prosecution could not properly contest the appeal and did not request a retrial, admitting along the way that they did not follow basic legal protocol. They centralized the story with outrageous claims that the post-mortem also proved to be lies. The question is, how did this even came to trial? We will be pushing for legal action against all parties involved in this cruel act of injustice and will not stop until real justice is served upon those who perpetrated this awful, unlawful, and unwarranted action against my son and his co-accused Andre Hines." Court of Appeal has granted a full acquittal, showing how false, contrived, and concocted this whole case has been from day one. They also tried to drag my name through the mud to help them carry out their wrongdoings and garner headlines for themselves. Well, this story and those headlines are far from over, and we will see the names of those conspirators and workers of iniquity brought to bear to face justice and accountability for their egregious actions and motivations. They are ashamed to their professions. I would like to thank Mr. Hugh Wildman, who never had a doubt this miscarriage of justice would be overturned from the first minute he started reading the court transcripts. His leadership and bravery against a system designed to destroy the lives of innocent youth, and youth is a service to his country. Big up Mr. Oswest, Senior Simit, for his sharp legal mind and assiduous work in freeing my son and Andre. That is what Mavado had to say in his statement, you see me? And Mavado's statement is crying out, as a father and not just as a dancehall artist, about the injustice that his son faced and exposing, the serious flaws in the justice system. You see me? He's frustrated with everything that took place in his son's trial and in the case for the last 7 years. And if you remember good, and if I remember good, I cannot remember the last time Mavado has ever really talked about his son case or anything pertaining to his son case to this extent, right? You see, you can clearly see the frustration, and Mavado is declaring, his faith right now, because Mavado is saying, to God be the glory. He comes first in everything we do, feeling gratitude and giving gratitude and feeling that appreciation towards the Most High. You see me? So one of the most interesting points in Mavado's statement is his direct quote from the appeal judges, Justice Marva McDonald Bishop. Mavado said, "Substantial miscarriage of justice. This means that the entire case was fundamentally flawed and the legal system itself admitted serious errors, which raises a crucial questions about how many other cases have been mishandled this way." And if you can remember, this is why VybzKartel case was also thrown out and a retrial was not ordered. And if you really look at it, if Jamaica justice system, right, continue to have these miscarriage of justice, people who should have been convicted will not be convicted even if the evidence is there, right? Because you got a situation where the conviction is overturned because at the end of the day, the judges and they have to do the right thing, right, by overturning the conviction. And if a retrial is not ordered, then that means that person is going to walk free, right? So we need the prosecutors in when they are, handling these cases. They need to do better than what they are doing, right? Because we don't want to have, okay, we understand that Vybz Kartel and Mavado son and these are celebrities that we are aware of, and we know these are popular people, right? And there's a lot of interest in these high profile cases. But at the same time, we don't want to have actual cases, or so many other cases where people need to be behind bars, right? And because of these miscarriage of justice, you have these convictions being overturned because in the justice system, you have to make sure so you deal with things right and fair. Whether the person is guilty or not, everyone is entitled to a fair trial. And to touch on something else that Mavado mentioned no jury. So instead of a group of people, decide what the outcome will be, you only have one judge that made the final decision. And Mavado also spoke about unreliable witness. The only witness, there was only one witness, and the witness changed him statements multiple times and admitted to lying and fabricated his stories, and they still allow this in court. And the prosecution failure, right? Even after acknowledging errors, they push for a conviction. And again, I have to make comparison, draw a parallel between Vybz Kartel case and this case. We saw the same corruption in Mavado son case. We also saw it in Vybz Kartel case. There were so many questions to be answered that they just overlook. A lot of things that should not have happened. And the same thing we see play out. And yet again, Jamaica justice system, especially the prosecution office, we continue to see how they go to work and how they handle business. This is unacceptable because it hurt the victims, it hurt the victim family, and it hurt our justice system. When you have prosecutors that has no competence, it hurts our legal system, because these prosecutors are there to make sure that people who have done wrongdoing, right, are there to be prosecuted fairly and using the system, the rules and regulation of the system to carry out justice. You see me? But if there's a miscarriage of justice, then that means that same system will now be used against the prosecutors who are there to put these people behind bars. So it just really doesn't make any sense. If you have the power to do the thing, if you actually do something, do it right and done. You see me? Because if you do it right, there will be no question about a retrial, no question about an appeal. And even if there is an appeal, everything was done according and within the confines of the law. All right, so that's how we're going to leave it. Big up to everybody who like the video, and leave your thoughts in the comment section about what you think about this situation. In ReggaeMedia, we keep you informed.